If I was born back then, I would be A, homeless, B, a drunk, or C, both.
Both,
Because
BOAF.
I'm not, first, I haven't that many children at all.
Mm-mm.
And I'm not going to be working on a farm.
Yeah, you would run away and join the circus.
I would do that now. This is the Big Bad Boot.
We're siblings who explore spooky and scary stories, urban legends, tall tales, and true crime, all located in this crazy state that's shaped like a boot. A podcast about the weird state you wish you were from.
Hosted by the weird siblings you wish you had. Hey, Big Bad Boot listeners. Are you ready to protect what matters most? Look no further than Stone Insurance Incorporated right here in Louisiana. With a commitment to personalized service and a deep understanding of our local community, Stone Insurance offers a variety of coverage options tailored to fit your unique needs. Whether it's home, auto, or business insurance, their dedicated team is here to ensure you get the best protection at the right price. Why choose Stone Insurance? They have local expertise, customized plans, and exceptional service. Don't leave your future to chance. Get a free quote today and experience the Stone Insurance difference. Visit stoneinsurance.com or call 504-832-4161 to learn more. Stay safe, stay covered, and keep enjoying the Big Bad Boot.
Listeners, we all know that a good design can make or break your business. So if your logo looks like it was designed by a blindfolded toddler, it's time to call Aubrey Carrier with AWC Graphics. Yeah, y'all know that amazing Big Bad Boot logo? She made it. Aubrey doesn't just design, she crafts works of art. We're talking logos, merch, social media graphics, everything you need to make your business stand out and reach your target audience. So stop staring at those old clip art graphics and give your brand the glow up it deserves. Visit AWC Graphics on Instagram and let Aubrey transform your business into a visual success story.
You know, like when you're so fat and hot that your glasses fog up?
Yeah, sure.
Not everybody answer at once.
Can't relate.
Me?
I only weigh 82 pounds.
Whatever.
Hold on. Caleb had to take his headphones off to put his glasses on. Okay.
Better.
The glasses do look good.
I do. I like them. I can't get my contacts into my head because my eyesight's so bad that the contacts I have to use are like this thick.
So why do you have them?
Because like for tennis, I'll put up with it. But like my friend the other night, Savannah, again, she put on my glasses and was like, whoa.
Wow, she's blind.
Oh my God, he's blind. It was bad.
Well, I'm glad I drove us here because, you know, knowing that you didn't have contacts in that whole time is...
That's my sister, Katie, and she drove us here.
And you hate riding with me.
Because you drive 2 miles an hour. Last time we recorded, I passed her up on Highway 22. Because I was like, you're going to cause an accident.
No, who got home safely?
Me. Before you.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
At least I'm not driving through buildings like that lady did at your old job.
That actually happened to me.
Wait, have you heard this story, Jonah, about the lady that literally drove through his office with her car?
So this was not at Stone. This was one of my previous insurance places I worked for. But I remember, and I was sitting in the front. I was looking at my manager at the time. Shout out, Miss Robin, if you're listening. But we heard like coming through the parking lot, and I look at Robin, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And then you hear boom. All the pictures on the walls fall. You see a car just vroom, like go through everything. And I was like, oh my God. So then I get out. She had driven through the Planet Beach, which was a tanning salon, driven through a hair salon, like all kinds of, because we were in a strip mall. So then I walk up to her in the like Nissan Versa hatchback shaped hole in the wall. And I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And she goes, well, guess I'm not going to Destin with the girls now. And I was like, heifer, like, let's make sure there's not a dead body under your car because you took out a tanning bed and 2 like booths at the hair salon.
Thank God nobody was hurt.
No, she was fine, but then it gets worse. So then I go back to my desk, tiddly taddly tiddly, as one does. And then she calls because our power's out, but the phones don't run off of like electricity. You just plug them into the landline. So she calls, I'm not going to say her name, but like I see on the caller ID who it was. And I was like, I know you're lying. So I'm like, Hingadingadurgan Insurance. This is Caleb. How can I help you? And she's like, yeah, I just hit about 5 cars and drove through 2 establishments. And I went, Miss, name redacted, as she looks through the hole in the wall. And I was like, you're on the phone with me. I'm your agent, bro. Like, so then our boss calls because I just texted our boss.
Shout out to Philip Bankston.
Philip Bankston. Love you.
We love you.
I just sent him a picture of the wrecker just towing this Nissan Versa out of the building. So he calls me. He's like, what the hell happened? And I had to explain it to him. And he was like, that's it. No Christmas bonuses. We cannot afford it this year. Which was a lie. We did get bonuses that year.
I will never forget you calling me that day and going, so guess what happened? There's a hole in the wall. A lady literally drove through the building. That story will never not be funny. And every time we drive to the beach, that's what we say. I guess I'm not going to Destin with the girls now.
The best thing ever was just me and Robin made eye contact right before it happened. So all the pictures off the wall, the power's out, and you just see Robin go like, and like grab her desk. I was like, oh my God.
It's an earthquake in Louisiana.
It was so funny.
How did the lady do that?
So she had, because we could hear her hitting things before.
So she was like ping-ponging.
Yeah.
Oh,
she
God.
Got her wedge flip-flop stuck in the gas pedal and was hitting cars trying to stop.
Oh, no.
And then went through the building.
Thank God nobody got hurt.
Bro.
What if you would have been in that tanning bed?
And like, I'm pretty sure, well, we insured her.
Of
we
course.
insured the entire strip mall
Yep.
that we worked in. We insured, I think, 2 of the 4 vehicles she smashed on the way to us. It was just, you can't, the stories I have from working in insurance, you can't make up.
I love that story. God,
Oh,
I love
gosh.
that story.
Man.
Well, that was setting the bar pretty high. But,
yeah. Top that, listeners.
Well, in other news, I'm now officially a homeowner.
Oh, yeah.
I'm poor till 2054, baby.
That
on
is
the,
so scary.
On the hook for that mortgage.
Ooh. So everyone, for the love of God,
please
keep downloading this podcast.
Please, so I can pay my mortgage.
Yes.
But we have some really nice emails to read.
We do.
Okay. I want to read one because this one is really nice. And I hope I'm pronouncing this person's last name correctly. Forgive me if I don't.
Okay.
It reads, Hi, Katie and Caleb. My name is Allie Curole, Curole. I think that's how you say that.
Oh, hi, Allie.
I'm a recent graduate of Louisiana Tech University and currently reside in the itty-bitty town of Ashland, Louisiana, where I was born and raised.
Go Dogs.
Go Bulldogs. That's where my husband graduated from. If you're thinking, how the heck did a Curole get to North Louisiana? The story is very anticlimactic. My coon-ass daddy met my redneck mama at Tech, and the rest is history. I love that.
Get into it.
I have loved listening to y'all's podcast thus far. The one about Bonnie and Clyde was particularly interesting as somebody who grew up just right down the road from where it all went down.
Aww.
I thought I knew all there was to know, but y'all have proved me wrong.
Work.
Nice. On another note, I have a topic suggestion.
Okay, let's hear it.
I would love for y'all to do a story on the new Bethany Home for Boys. Have you heard of that before?
Okay. When was that email sent?
So this was back in August.
Okay. I read that email.
Okay.
And she suggested, I think either she suggests the series,
yes,
maybe?
she says, it is also in Arcadia. There is an episode of the show Haunted.
Yes.
The episode is titled Cult of Torture.
Yes.
That is specifically for this place. It still stands today and is quite terrifying to pass by in the dark.
Yes. Allie, it sounds bad saying I loved that show that you recommended.
Is it on Netflix?
It is. And it's like someone saying you like learning about the Holocaust. You know what I mean? It was so interesting to think of how horrible humans actually can be.
Right.
So it was such an interesting thing to watch.
So you're going to have to do
and
that.
Allie, that is on my list. That definitely will be happening. And I will shout you out again.
Okay.
Lovey.
She says, I would just love to know more about it myself and think it would go right along with the rest of y'all's content. I've heard stories about it before and it gets very disturbing very quickly. Parentheses, just a heads up. Close parentheses.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically like a torture conversion camp.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's insane.
Okay.
It's
Well,
insane.
I hope y'all will take this topic into consideration for a future episode. Thanks for sharing Louisiana history. Y'all rock. Thank you and have a blessed day, Allie.
Thanks, Allie. And I
Thanks,
will be
Allie.
doing that one day.
That was very nice.
I have one
Okay.
as well.
Lay it on me.
And this is actually from one of my friends from back in the day. Her name's Bailey Bro. Hi, Bailey. I miss you. I haven't seen her in a while. She says, "Hey, y'all. I love listening to your podcast. I look forward to the new episode so I can listen to it on the way to work or while I'm cooking dinner. As you know, Caleb, heart emoji, I'm a 6th grade social studies teacher.
Oh,
God bless
doing the Lord's
you.
work.
You
Honestly,
deserve a raise."
That is the one subject I think I would like to teach.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Math? No, who needs it?
Yeah.
I've already given up on math.
We have calculators.
Right.
Currently, we are learning Louisiana history, which is hard to make entertaining for 11-year-olds. There are so many fascinating parts of our state's history that I do not get to cover in class. I feel like your listeners, I feel like your listeners follow your podcast not only because you and Katie have an elite sense of humor, love you,
Thanks.
but because we find more information about the interesting stories that happen in our area. Jean Lafitte would be a perfect podcast episode.
Okay.
That is also on my list.
I like that.
Me and her are having that like friend telepathy.
I love the name Jean.
Jean. I look forward to hearing more episodes filled with your storytelling and Katie's witty humor. Lots of love to you both. Bailey Bro.
So, Bailey, would you say I'm the funniest one?
She would not.
It sounds like she did say that because I don't recall her saying Katie and Caleb's witty humor.
Whatever.
It just said mine. Hey, Jonah, I hear you chuckle over there. We haven't said hey yet. How rude of us. Hey, Jonah.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're good.
Chilling. I'm excited about this story.
Oh,
Apparently.
this
I don't
one,
even know. It's always just a fun time.
this one is fun. Like, I had never heard of this one.
Okay.
Y'all ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get right into it.
There's very few stories that we look at that I haven't at least heard of, right? Like, I might not be an expert in it, but I've at least heard of it. This I have never heard of.
Ooh, okay.
So it took me a lot longer to research it because I didn't have any prior knowledge, but I kind of like that because I go in without any kind of preconceived opinions about anything. So here we go. I'm going to set the scene.
Okay.
On August 8th, 1924, we're outside the jailhouse in Evangeline Parish, Louisiana, which I did have to consult an expert on the pronunciation of Evangeline Parish because for some reason I was second guessing myself and thinking it was Evangeline, like
Evangeline.
the name of the Firefly and Princess and the Frog's girlfriend.
Evangeline.
See, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I texted my very good friend Emily Hebert from Lafayette, who is a true Cajun, and I said,
My
"Is
girl.
it Evangeline or Evangeline?" And her exact response was, "It is Evangeline. Do not embarrass me."
Amen.
And so
I love Emily. That's
That's a
that
roll
girl,
dog.
The first time I met her, I was like, I might need subtitles, but I love her so much.
So Emily Hebert, love you. Okay, you make really cute kids. Anywho. August 8th, 1924, we're outside the jailhouse in Evangeline Parish, Louisiana. So this is Cajun country.
Yes.
Thousands of people have gathered to witness the legal hanging of a recently convicted murderer.
I'm about to nerd out.
Okay.
I think I know something about that.
Okay.
Okay.
A reporter for the Gazette, one of the dozens of newspapers that were there to document the event, described the spectacle. Quote, "They were here in thousands. These French Americans of the Southland Arcadia, from the far corners of the parish of Evangeline, named for Longfellow's Maid of Sorrows. They were here from everywhere, gathered in the dusty streets, filling the courtyard, standing alongside the stockade built on the east side of the jailhouse. They talked their French or the patios that compromises with English. They were excited. It is their nature to be excited, even over small things. But this, the solemn taking of a man's life, is no small thing. The crowd was there to witness the legal execution of their native son, 26-year-old Euzebe Vidrine.
Okay.
Before he was hanged, he asked the sheriff if he could address the crowd.
Period.
The death mask was removed, and for nearly 30 minutes, he delivered essentially his own eulogy. When the rope is cut, he said, that will be the end of me. My troubles will be over. My mother's troubles, my wife's troubles, and the grief of the human beings I have made widows and fatherless will have just begun. The rope now seems easy and
Oh, I got the
kind.
chills. Ew.
The rope now seems easy and kind compared to this dreadful remorse. Maybe the spectacle of my death will heal all the hurt. That's kind of poetic. He thought about this.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
This is the story of Euzebe Vidrine, the only person to be legally hanged in Evangeline Parish,
Boom.
one
Okay.
of Louisiana's first documented serial killers, and a murderer who literally wrote a book about his evil deeds.
Okay, see, I didn't know about the first killer
He's
Boo-doo-doo-doo-bee,
quite possibly one of the first documented serial killers.
but I saw some kind of article the other day when I was trying to research other stories, and it didn't even say his name. It just said like the first public legal
Mhm.
hanging or something.
This is him.
Okay, cool.
And
Because I remember it was in Evangeline Parish.
y'all know I love names.
Yeah.
I thought the Bonnie and Clyde episode had good names. Oh, baby. This has
Really?
got some good names. So
Okay.
get a pen and paper out and write them down. I'll give you spellings and everything. But before we do
Okay.
that, my sources. An episode of the podcast Southern Mysteries. I had never listened to this before. Very well done podcast. Shout out to Southern Mysteries.
Ooh.
And an excellent article in Country Roads magazine titled The Life and Death of Euzebe Vidrine, written by Jordan LaHaye Fontenot.
Period. I
So-
know a lot of fun.
This was such a good article. Like, I got most of my information from her article. So shout out to
Nice.
Jordan. All right. Euzebe, first of all, love that name.
Yeah.
Euzebe Vidrine was born on July 12th, 1898 in Ville Platte to parents, get into it, Arcille
Okay.
and Arlene.
Okay.
Arcille is Arcille and Arlene is Aureline.
Those names are so similar.
Arcille and Arlene.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
He was one of 10 kids. No, thank you.
That sucks.
5 boys and 5 girls in a farming family, which back then, like, you had to have help. Like, you had to have that many bodies to, like,
If I was
Shuck
born
corn.
back then, I would be A, homeless, B, a drunk, or C, both.
both BOAF.
Because I'm not, first, I haven't that many children at all.
Mm-mm.
And I'm not going to be working on a farm.
Yeah, you would run away and join the circus.
I would do that now.
Yeah, what would your talent be?
I would want to be the person that, what I could do, maybe. I feel like I could juggle while unicycling because I actually can ride a unicycle.
How did I not know you can ride a unicycle? When did you learn to ride a unicycle in your life?
Oh my gosh. Years ago.
Where?
At a racetrack.
Okay.
A lot of weird stuff happens at the racetrack after hours. And then, but what I would actually want to do is be like the aerialist that's like, and flipping, and then you like catch yourself on like the one thing and just like, I defy gravity.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would really want to do.
See, I thought you'd be like the hot dog eating contest person.
Well, I could.
You could. I don't know what I would do. The bearded lady, perhaps. I don't know.
Honestly, work.
Okay. So he dropped out of school after the 4th grade to help out on the farm, which Caleb would not do. Caleb would have ran away.
Period.
One of Euzebe's earliest memories of doing something, quote, crooked was sneaking into his dad's stash of whiskey and money pretty much on a daily basis. So this kid was a drunk, like
Dang.
pretty early.
How old was he?
It didn't say, but his earliest memories was stealing his dad's whiskey.
That's dang.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
He was described as well-behaved. He was tall. He was well-built. And a lot of these newspapers back then apparently said he was really good-looking.
I
Like,
can relate.
apparently he was a snack and a half. He was tall, had really beautiful hair, and bright, bright, bright blue eyes.
You kind of.
I'm describing you. I'm
Yeah.
describing you. Tall, slender, all of it.
Yes.
Caleb just slapped his belly. So when he was 15, Vidrine wrote that he started to feel worried, and he couldn't really say about what. He often found himself in tears, upset for no reason. Honey, that's called depression.
Yeah.
Get you some Xanax.
Period.
Like, get you some hormones. Looking for a way to channel his frustration, he started to cause trouble. Stealing horses, cutting down fences, which, why? Oh, to drive cattle out of the fields. That's rude.
Yeah, that's mean.
And even taking things from one house and planting them at a neighbor's house to stir up drama. That's fun. I recently saw in one of the mom groups on Facebook that people were going around stealing inflatables out of people's yards.
Yes. The Mandeville mom group.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, don't do that, but it's funny when
if you're gonna do crime, do that.
That doesn't hurt anybody.
Right.
It's an inflatable turkey. It's fine. He said, I had more fun doing that than going to the dance. He admits, the greatest pleasure I got in life was causing trouble for people, and I have been this way since I was a little boy. Ew. Don't like that. And it seemed that those urges followed him into adulthood as something in his 20s seemed to cause a shift. His wife described him as increasingly emotional, which that's me on any given Wednesday, really.
Yeah.
So, and she said he would weep for days at a time over the smallest things. Me. I mean, I see no issue here.
The drama.
Like, just, I don't know why I'm crying. I do that.
Yes, you do.
And then I get mad that I'm crying, so I cry more. Michael's pretty chill. He just goes into the other room.
Because he's like, there.
Yeah, he's like that meme where she's using a broom to like rub up. He's like, how can I help? He just knows to get out of the way.
Katie, but you'll call me crying, and I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. Is what you're crying about stupid? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get over it. Let's build that bridge.
And I'm like, wiping the snot. You're right. And then, yeah.
I usually am.
I didn't murder people, though, so
you did.
Don't feel sorry for this dude. All right, so here we go. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. In 1921, Euzebe's life took a turn that he would never come back from. Pierre Vidrine, who was a farmer in Evangeline Parish, he shared the same last name as Euzebe, but they were not related. So that happens a lot down here in the South.
Yeah.
Pierre told other local farmers that several of his hogs had been stolen and that he suspected that Euzebe was the one that was doing it, which, given Euzebe's track record,
probably right.
Probably right. A few weeks earlier, Euzebe's dogs had killed one of Pierre's sheep, and Pierre mentioned to folks that he had seen Euzebe hanging around his farm on the days that the hogs went missing. So, some circumstantial evidence.
It's adding up.
When Euzebe heard about the accusations, he was pissed. And his anger soon turned into deep sadness. And his wife said for several days he stayed inside his home, refusing to do chores and crying for hours on end over the rumor.
What's his wife's name?
Lillian.
Lillian, leave him. If this was a live call-in and Lillian called in.
Hi, my name is Lillian, longtime listener, first-time caller. I have a question about my husband.
Long-time hater.
So he stole some pigs, right? And he just friggin' cries all the time.
Leave him. Boom.
Okay. That's it. If we'd have no story if she would have.
Don't care.
No.
I'm helping people.
So he says, my wife and I grieved about what was going on, he wrote. Our reputation was ruined. We wouldn't enjoy visiting our neighbors. There were no hopes of paying the place out. We could not face our relatives because I couldn't pay them. Because he would get so depressed, he wouldn't work his farm and then he would lose money. So it's like, dude, get over it.
Yeah, it sounds like laziness produced
depression. Or depression-induced laziness.
But you wouldn't be depressed and upset if you wouldn't have started out lazy and not working.
Right. He says, despondency took charge of me and I cried like a baby. I would get angry and then disgusted and disappointed with my life.
Define
despondency?
Yes.
Meaning like you can't be bothered to do anything about it. Like you know you need to do something, but you just can't be bothered. It's like ennui. Did you see
what?
Inside Out 2?
No.
There's an emotion called ennui, and that's like when you're just being lazy and you can't be bothered to do anything. Like you just want to like look at your phone and scroll.
Okay.
So this guy would have gotten nothing done if TikTok was around.
No, seriously.
So on April 25th, 1921, he writes of how he saddled his horse, loaded his gun with buckshot, and rode over to Pierre's farm.
Ooh.
He sat on a log and wondered whether or not he should kill the man who caused him so much trouble. The birds were singing all around me, he wrote. Nature seemed in all its glory and happy, and I wept and asked God to forgive me for what I was about to do. He raised his gun, took aim, and fired both barrels. The blast tore through Pierre Vidrine, killing him on the spot and almost tearing him in half.
Yeah, because buckshot
Yes.
is the thing that goes like
Yeah,
like it shoots a whole bunch of mess at you.
so
That
he
sucks.
died basically instantly.
And he's
then
writing all this down, like he's journaling
so
about it.
we will get into that. So
Okay.
like he has all of, because remember at the beginning he also had a book published about all of his stuff.
That's insane.
Yes.
Okay.
So he then runs home and hides his gun. So to me, I'm like, well, there goes a insanity plea out the window, because if you were insane, you would not be hiding your gun because you know what you did was wrong, right? When Pierre's body was found, the local sheriff quickly gathered a posse.
Nice.
That's all they could do back then. Just gather a posse and just
Go
hope for
off
the best.
vibes and get your peeps.
Which, get into this, he joins the posse to go try to find the person that killed Pierre.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
Right.
I've seen a lot of Datelines where the killer usually will join the search and rescue.
Inserts themselves.
Yeah, because they want to be close enough to where they feel like they have control over the situation.
Right. However, Euzebe started to raise suspicions when he mentioned details about the murder that no one else in the group knew about. And it wasn't long before he was arrested and put on trial for Pierre's murder. So you think, okay, open and shut case, right? But
Wrong.
despite the accusations, he was so cool and calm, and he was so good looking that the jury ultimately sided with him and gave him a not guilty verdict. Going so far as to when he was released, the judge even issued a formal apology to him for wrongful arrest and the suspicion that had been cast his way.
He should have went into sales. If
Yeah.
this man is that good looking.
He either was going to do this or run for office. You know what I'm saying?
Run for office.
Right. Like sociopath, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Louisiana is famous for bad politicians. So he would have done great in this state.
So that was murder number one. Now here's number two. After his acquittal, he remained in Evangeline Parish for several months, but found it hard to focus on his work because, of the murder.
Right.
By October 1921, he was also flat broke. So him and his wife agreed to separate to find work. They weren't separating like emotionally, marriage-wise. They were like, we've got to divide and conquer and go make money.
Oh, yeah. That was called a work separation because in Madame Lalaurie, they did a work and bed separation because they were actually unhappy with each other.
Because she was a psychopath.
Yeah.
He went to work in Meridian, Louisiana until November when he received a letter from his wife that she was now in New Iberia. And she told them that if he could find a job in New Iberia, they could be together again. So he goes over there and spends only 2 days looking for work. When he could not find a job after 2 days, he spent the entire third day crying. Which...
My God.
Me.
Dude, like, get over it.
He's a teenage girl.
Worse.
Yeah. And he said, I'm sorry, this is not funny. He said, I sat wondering if I should kill myself. But instead, I made up my mind that I was going to kill other people on the road for a living instead.
Okay.
Bro.
At that point, kill yourself.
Right.
Sorry. Not trying to be insensitive.
Do the first one.
Yeah. But, like, man.
So, on December 2nd, Santa Claus is literally coming to town, and he's doing this.
That
Ooh.
was good.
That was pretty good.
Thanks.
If you need us for a Christmas karaoke party, we could do some pretty good impressions. That was pretty good off the cuff, Caleb.
Thanks.
So on December 2nd, 1921, he takes the train to Eunice, and he found somebody at that station to bring him to Kaplan. So he's introduced to a man called Charles Garbo. I love that name. I don't know why.
Garbo?
Charles Garbo.
Sounds like garbage.
No, you're wrong.
Okay.
Charles would be the first victim in a killing spree that would last 2 weeks. So while they're riding, he shot Garbo in the head after he had pulled over to put chains on his tires because the road was muddy. So literally the guy gets out to check to put chains on the tires, and he just goes, shoots the guy.
That's called shooting your meal ticket.
He took $4 from the man's pocket and loaded his lifeless body into the back seat of the car. He drove the car for a few miles and then pushed it into the woods.
Okay.
Then he just decided he was going to walk the rest of the way to the train station in Lafayette. And he said, I was very happy because I had satisfied my desire. So
This man was crazy.
he was nuts. I wish there was evidence, or if we knew that if he was dropped on his head as a kid, because I don't even say that as a joke, because they do say that is the triangle for serial killers. Have you heard about that? The three characteristics.
Wetting the bed as an adult, violence to animals,
and drop a head injury as a child. So I really think that he had to have had one of those things. But
that's wild.
All right, so that was murder number 2. Murder number 3. The next day, he planned to board a train in Lafayette to Crowley and met a man at the depot named John Roy. Euzebe claimed that he was short the train fare, which he was not short because he had just stolen money from this other person.
$4.
Right. And told this guy Johnny needed a ride. So John, once again, a random person showing kindness to a stranger, which don't pick up hitchhikers. Like,
don't.
We used to fuss at our grandpa all the time.
Oh my gosh. Paw Melvin, bro.
If you're listening. He's
from
not.
Beyond the ether.
From beyond in the nether regions.
Literally.
He used to pick up like people well until his like 60s. He would pick up hitchhikers and we would get so angry. And he'd be like, that's what the Lord would want me to do. I'm like, I don't think the Lord would want you to get mugged.
No. And I'm pretty sure Mom told me one time he picked up someone and brought them home so Mama could like feed them. And then they saw later that night that he was on like a most wanted list or something.
Oh God, I wish Papa was still alive so we could talk to him about it.
I have a whole bunch of his
notes
and stuff when he was like still preaching.
Yeah, so our mom's dad was a Baptist minister for many years. And he also apparently picked up hitchhikers. So
honestly,
work. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Euzebe Family Farms. Joey and Nicole Euzebe are 5th-generation farmers. Well, technically, Joey is the farmer and Nicole is still learning. Euzebe Family Farm grew out of their love to provide fresh, locally grown veggies to the region. They are most known for their strawberries and their Creole tomatoes. Oh, God, I love a tomato sandwich with mayonnaise. You will find their produce in area grocery stores and restaurants. You can also buy in bulk directly from their farm in Independence, Louisiana. Check them out on socials. They have TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, as Nicole attempts to learn about farming and annoy her husband with all her questions. Keep your eye out for their strawberries, southern sweet berries, in stores now. If you don't see them, ask for them, because everyone loves Euzebe.
Hey, Big Bad Boo listeners. Ever feel like life is throwing you curveballs? Like that time your Aunt Myrtle's cat took a dive into the neighbor's gumbo? Don't worry. Stone Insurance Incorporated in New Orleans has got you covered. With their local expertise, they know how to handle all your insurance needs, whether it's home, auto, or even that slip and fall at the crawfish bowl. Why Stone Insurance? They understand that in Louisiana, insurance isn't just a policy. It's a part of the survival kit that life's wild... Wait. Let me go back. They understand that in Louisiana, insurance isn't just a policy. It's a part of the survival kit for life's wild rides. They have tailored just for you. Because let's face it, your life is more unpredictable than a second line. And their friendly team is always ready to help, and they promise to keep the puns to a minimum, unless you ask. So don't wait until disaster strikes or your Aunt Myrtle's cat goes rogue again. Get a free quote at stoneinsurance.com or call 504-832-4161 today. Stay safe, stay silly, and keep enjoying the Big Bad Boot, knowing Stone Insurance has your back no matter what life throws at you.
So, where was I at? Okay. So John Roy was trying to be nice to the stranger. He said, sure, I'll take you to Eunice. On the way, the men shared 2 pints of whiskey. But I would vomit. And
2 pints?
2 pints.
That's...
This isn't whiskey. This is motor oil.
That's taking a roadie to a whole different level.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But he said they had great conversation. I bet they did.
And John Roy, 20 years later, opened the first drive-through daiquiri shop. I'm just kidding.
No, he's dead.
Oh.
So,
sorry, did this
context clues. So about a mile outside of Eunice, Euzebe asked Roy to pull over so they could smoke a Joe. So they're like, sure. So
wait. Pause.
Okay.
I was harassed by my grandpa's secondhand smoke in the back of a Crown Vic as late as 2011. And you're telling me his excuse to stop was to pull over so they could S a J?
I don't know what his we know his motive was he was trying to shoot this man.
Yeah, but
But it
use your
obviously
brain,
worked.
John
I don't know
Roy.
if he was trying to be nice and be like, I don't want to get smoke inside your car.
I don't want to get smoke in your open air Model T. Like, that's insane.
I don't know.
Anyway, sorry.
It worked. So they pull over. The two men start smoking a Joe. They chatted a little bit longer. But then Euzebe pulled a gun from his coat pocket and straight up point blank shoots this guy in the head. And all the John Roy had on him at the time was a cheap watch and, get this, a single nickel in his pocket. He took both.
Of course he did.
And then he started walking the rest of the way towards the Eunice train station. All right, so that was 3.
Why didn't he steal the truck?
He never takes the vehicle, ever, not a single time
What
he
an
kills
idiot.
somebody.
So he's crazy and he's a loser.
And he's dumb. He doesn't make very good
And
decisions.
he's dead. So
Calvert. All right, here's murder number 4. About 5 days later, he decides, I'm going to set out for Orange, Texas, because why not?
okay.
He's trying to find work, quote unquote.
Cool.
On the night of December 13th, he meets a man named Lee Duke. John Roy, Lee Duke.
Okay.
I wonder if he's related to the Dukes of Hazzard. Were they real people?
No.
Okay,
That was definitely fictional characters.
checking. I mean, just checking.
And I don't know what state that was in. I just know it was Hazard County.
Hazzard. Well, it's not in Louisiana because we don't have counties.
No. Ooh, I hate the
Tennessee.
word.
Is it Tennessee?
It's got to be.
Okay.
Or like South
tracks.
Georgia, maybe.
That
Georgia,
tracks.
yeah.
The word county's just gross.
You.
Sorry, Jonah. You're from Colorado, aren't you?
Yeah, but Parish is way cooler.
It is cooler.
Okay. See,
You loved that movie Dukes of Hazzard when you were little.
bro, Dad for Christmas when I was 9. No, it wasn't Dad. It was Mom.
It was Mom. Yep.
Mom was looking for the DVD Dukes of Hazzard to get me for Christmas.
Which is the newer one, the one with Jessica Simpson
Yeah.
and Johnny Knoxville.
Well, Mom saw it sticking out randomly at Walmart, and she was like, I didn't look. I just grabbed it. On the cover, it's Jessica Simpson topless with a license plate that says unrated. And my mom got the unrated version. So 9 years old, I open it, and I'm like, whoa. And my mom was like, oh my God. And like grabs it and was like, Kelly, why would you get that? And Dad's like, what?
Which is a total lie because, Dad has never wrapped or bought any of our
No,
Christmas presents a single
Absolutely
time.
not. No.
Yeah,
Poor Dad.
Mom was trying, but she was like, whoopsie. What happened to that?
Dad.
Has it still?
No.
Oh,
Dad's an angel. No, he doesn't. Dad traded it with one of his work buddies that had the regular one.
oh, good God.
So Dad's an angel.
Yeah, he
Dad,
is.
If you ever want Dad to leave a room, look that man in the eye and say tampon.
Oh, he
And
will get out of here so fast.
He's out.
Dad, if you're listening, tampon. Sorry.
Poor Dad. I love
He's
Dad.
like, is this going to embarrass me? That's what he says all the
We
time.
might have to edit that out. He's gonna crawl in a hole. Poor baby.
Okay. So he's heading to Orange, Texas. He meets Lee Duke, Dukes of Hazzard. Vidrine asked if Duke could take him up to Beaumont. And along the drive, Vidrine wrote that I was just itching to kill this man. So he asked Duke to pull over so they could what? Smoke a
Joe.
cigarette. He wrote, I have never forgotten the odor of that cigarette. Duke was smoking from his own pipe when I pointed my gun and shot him at point blank range.
What?
So Vidrine
Gross.
then gathered 75 cents,
Oh.
Lee Duke's 35 caliber pistol, his watch, and then he walked the rest of the way to Orange, Texas. Once he was there, he used that 75 cents to order ham and eggs at a cafe.
But not in the car. I hope he tripped in a gopher hole or something. Take the car. At
He was like,
least. If
"Man."
you're going to be a piece of garbage,
Be
be
a
an efficient piece of garbage.
That is a tagline.
Boom.
He was there for the ham. He was like, all this murdering has worked quite up an appetite, and I need some ham and some eggs over easy from a goozle.
Yeah. Amen.
Once he finished eating, he started walking back towards Louisiana. He walked all the way back to
Where was he
Louisiana.
at?
Beaumont.
Ugh. That's a long,
And he said
boring
he
walk.
followed the railroad tracks. That's like what people do in zombie movies, is follow the railroad
Yeah,
tracks.
because, I mean, it's always going to go through some city.
Yeah. He later wrote, I crossed a big river and a swamp.
Okay, so that would be the Sabine River.
And I heard all the wild animals screaming at me, and my conscience ached. I could see Duke's pipe sticking up in his mouth, and I could see poor old Pierre Vidrine. I could see Charles Garbeau. They haunted me, and I prayed that
Right.
God would lead me from temptation.
Wait, so he is crazy.
Oh, no, he's nuts.
Because he's like, that pelican is judging me.
The rabbit is looking at me and knows.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man, that.
Oh,
ugh.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
don't worry, y'all. He made it home in time for Christmas.
Mm.
But the reunion was interrupted by a visit from none other than the Lafayette Parish Sheriff.
Nice.
He had come to interview Vidrine about John Roy's murder on December 3rd. So John Roy was murder number 1, 2, 3.
Okay. That was the one that first asked to stop
Correct.
to smoke a Joe.
Yes.
Period.
Okay. And he came to interview him, and Vidrine wrote later, "There was nothing I enjoyed more than being arrested and questioned. It gave me great pleasure, and I could answer them without the least hesitation. And without any hard evidence, they had to release him because all the evidence against him was circumstantial."
He enjoyed it. Man, if he enjoyed that, he would have loved Disney World. Like, golly.
Him was really, he would have loved It's a Small World. It would have blew his mind.
Wow.
At the same time, authorities were also investigating the death of Lee Duke. That was a man in Texas.
Okay.
This breaks my heart. A completely separate person named Frank Smith, who just happened to be in the area, was accused of the murder, tried and convicted, and sent to jail. He was sentenced to 15 years in a Texas state prison. Sorry, it was a prison, not a jail.
But at least I thought you were about to say him was hanged.
No.
And I was about to be like, God.
And this poor man, Smith, maintained the entire time that he had nothing to do with it.
Did he get released?
He did eventually, yes.
But that.
Could you imagine?
No, because I would not make it in prison. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, this is going to get dark. If I know I was going to jail or about to be drafted,
Into the military?
I'm out.
Like you're taking yourself out?
I'm taking myself somewhere. Because I
Honestly,
couldn't make it in prison. And do you really want me defending the country?
I do not. You want me defending it before you.
They could threaten me. And I'd be like, here's where all the nukes
Here's
are.
the coach to the nukes.
Yep.
You mean I have to sleep in a what? A tent? No, thank
Absolutely
you.
not.
I need amenities.
I've never camped ever in my life without a motorhome. I can't make it.
So I felt so bad for that man, but don't worry, Frank does get acquitted eventually, but not for a while, like for a couple years. So that poor man sat in prison.
That sucks. Man.
Okay. Now we're finally on to murder number 5. This is the final one.
Okay.
Over the next few years, Vidrine claims to have not killed anyone, which would be between the years of 1922 and 24.
Okay.
But in May 1924, he got the hankering again for some reason. Back home in Evangeline Parish, Robert Leo Wiggins was the son of the sheriff. Late one evening, right, dummy?
Yeah, you're aiming high.
Late one evening on May 19th, Leo was driving home to the brand new house he had just finished building for him and his wife. They had just gotten married.
Man, and he's got a cool name too. I like Leo.
Mm-hmm. He noticed a man walking and he pulled over because he realized it was somebody he knew. They went to school together. Euzebe Vidrine. So this man truly was like, "Hey, bud, how you doing? Need a ride?"
And I'm definitely not like, because if I see someone I went to high school walking, there's a very select few of y'all I would pull over and let in my Honda Accord. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Caleb's flipping the bird all the way out.
Like,
beep, beep, beep. Bye, loser.
Remember that time you called me ugly? Who's stupid now? Oh, man.
Oh, high
Anyway.
school. Okay. So with a smile on his face, Euzebe acted like he was getting in the car, opened the door, but instead pulled out a revolver and shot this man at point blank range. But Leo didn't die instantly, and he tried to get out of the car and crawl away.
That sucks.
Euzebe ended up shooting him 2 more times, killed him, then drug his body into the woods. He tried to, again, drive the car off the main road, but the car died, so he just left it on the side of the road and ran into the woods.
Okay.
So he has the very beginning of this figured out, but not the tail end. Like, he doesn't have the follow-through planned out very well.
No.
So they get some bloodhounds involved. I like this part.
Cool.
While hiding amongst the trees, Euzebe watched officials carry the body away to the house of Leo's father-in-law, who was, guess what, the coroner. So this man's dad...
And this is a small town.
This man's dad was the sheriff, and his father-in-law was the coroner.
Where is this? Lafayette?
Evangeline Parish.
Is Ville Platte in Evangeline?
I think, yes.
Okay, I was about to say, this sounds more Ville Platte to me because it's smaller than Lafayette.
Then, get this. He follows them there to the coroner's house and went into the house. I went to the house, looked at the body, and mixed in with the huge crowd of people. I didn't stay there long and look at the dead body. It did not have any effect on me whatsoever. My heart did not even beat faster. No one looked at me suspiciously, which that is not true because this idiot didn't even bother to change out of his blood-stained clothes before he went. So,
wow, you big dummy.
He's obviously very tired because he's had a long day. So he goes home and he goes to bed. He drinks him some whiskey. He goes to bed.
Nice.
Then at 5:30 that morning, the police show up to his house and they arrest him because they're like, hey, idiot, you walked in with blood all over you and you were acting weird. So here we are. And he said they found all that they were looking for. They took his bloody clothes, his shoes, the pistol, and the cartridges. Later that day, bloodhounds were brought in from Crystal Springs, Mississippi, including one standout little puppy dog named Red Eagle. That was his name.
Wait.
Like,
Red's itching to have a little fun.
Yes.
Get my lantern. What?
Red Eagle. A search party of men from
awesome.
all over the state followed Red Eagle as he tracked the scent, get this, from the crime scene on the side of the road, all the way through the woods, down the road toward Ville Platte, all the way to the spot in front of the bank where Vidrine later said he caught a ride to his own house, all the way to his own house, and then back to the jail where he was being held for questioning.
Good for Red Eagle.
When the hounds were brought to the jail, Red Eagle went straight to the cell where Vidrine was being held for questioning and signaled. And witnesses said that upon seeing the dogs, Vidrine passed out.
Good. And then Red Eagle said, now someone get me a shot of Jameson and a cigarette. I'm tired.
I was tired.
Good for him.
Red Eagle, baby.
Man.
What does that mean where he's like, and then my head hit the floor. Wham.
Boom.
Yeah. That was him. Okay, so we're getting towards into the juicy part. How do y'all, what do you think so far? It's good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe I'd never heard this.
Me either. But, so it was Ville Platte.
Yes, it's Ville Platte. So the Times-Picayune printed his confession. So he confesses to the murder of Robert Lee Wiggins. Like, there's no getting out of it. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm wearing bloody clothes. It was me.
And I'm an idiot.
Sorry. Right. And the public outcry was insane because this guy was the son of the sheriff, the son-in-law of the coroner. He was like a beloved person in the community that was murdered.
Bob's Garage Hair Care and Tire Center.
But authorities did not know this at the time, but Euzebe had actually killed 4 other people. And he literally wrote in his confession, but this is the only man I have killed. Why would you put that?
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Euzebe, if you're listening, you are so dumb for real.
Literally. But don't go digging around anywhere because this is the only time I've ever done anything.
I swear.
My life's an open book. I've never done anything wrong. What an idiot.
So a Lafayette sheriff arrived days after Euzebe was arrested and notified the authorities in Ville Platte that the watch that was found on Euzebe when he was arrested was an exact match of the one John Roy was wearing when he was murdered. So he was wearing a dead man's watch, bloody clothes, and bloody shoes. What an idiot. Euzebe's fingerprints had also matched a set of prints that were found at Lee Duke's crime scene.
They had fingerprints
They
back
did,
then?
baby.
Wow.
They did. Despite this compounding evidence, he doubles down and claims, I swear Wiggins is the only man I've ever killed, and he pleaded not guilty and argued insanity.
Okay.
Not wrong.
Right?
Period.
He's like,
period.
I mean, you got a point there, Euzebe. This is my favorite part. You know it's going off the rails when they ask to represent themselves in court.
Ted Bundy. Wasn't it Ted Bundy
Yep.
that did that? Yeah.
Yep. So he said, I want to represent myself. So he directly addresses the jury and claimed that he was, quote, out of his mind with whiskey and simply couldn't help it.
That's like saying, don't convict me. Sorry, I killed someone with a DUI.
Right. Sorry.
Like, that's not a good argument. Sorry, I was drunk. No.
The jury, though, don't worry, only deliberated for 10 minutes.
Period.
And they ruled that he needed to be put to death. So they said, you're hanging.
Nice.
When the judge read the verdict, Euzebe was very calm, but he made a request. He asked to be granted time to write his memoir so he could, quote, cleanse his soul. He promised he would include a complete telling of all of his crimes. And the judge, who said he saw no need to rush the execution, allowed it.
No, you don't need a pen and paper, brother. You need the Vatican.
No, it's more than pen and paper. He sent Euzebe back to his cell with writing materials and a translator because he didn't speak English very well. He spoke Cajun French and only a little bit of English. So they took taxpayer money to pay this translator to transcribe. I would have loved that job.
If I'm so mad at the judge. If you're a descendant of the judge, Venmo me $5.
Please.
Like, that makes
Venmo me.
That makes me mad. Like, that's stupid.
They had a translator in there for days, writing out, transcribing, and translating what he was saying.
They should have went guilty. Great. Been like, all right.
That's not how
I'll be home for supper.
Martha, start up that, so I'm on my way home. Okay.
I have to correct that.
So his execution date was set for August 8th, so that gave him a little over a month to get all his thoughts out on paper. So he spent every waking moment he could dictating his life to this translator, and he then confessed to all 5 of the murders in his memoir, which was officially titled The Life of Euzebe Vidrine. While Euzebe was writing in his cell, the defense team was working to save his life. They appealed to the courts claiming he was insane. Even, did you know that they had these things called lunacy commissions?
That, like...
People were assigned to prove you were crazy or not.
Like a lunatic?
Yeah.
That's wild.
And 3 different doctors unanimously reported that he indeed was sane. So, when told of the outcome, he simply responded, well, I guess that's it. The jig is up. What an idiot. Okay. I feel like I'm going very long on this. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
We're almost done.
Shocked at his stupidity.
So on the days leading up to his execution, he made several other requests and was granted every single request. Here we go. He wanted to see his mama and his brothers and his wife. Lillian, we've already told you. Leave him. He wanted to attend a service preached by the Reverend Philip Prather, who was the pastor of his church in Turkey Creek.
No.
Oh, no.
Talk to Jesus by yourself.
Wait. So they said yes, and the pastor came to the jail cell and even brought members of the choir, and they held a service in his cell. Then he said, I want to cover all my bases and also be delivered my last rites from a Catholic priest, just in case the Baptist church doesn't cover me.
Honestly, okay, that's funny.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
He also asked if he could hear the sound of a violin before he died, so the court hired a musician to come in and play 3 songs for him on a violin.
Okay, this isn't even, like, I'm actually pissed off. This is stupid. Would
Bill
you
Platt?
like a glass of, like...
Merlot and...
Yeah, you want some Cabernet Sauvignon while you're listening to your violin, you actual piece of garbage?
Would you like a twist of lime?
Who is this judge? If
somewhere.
you're the great-grandchild of this judge, catch me outside. This is infuriating.
Oh, hold on. It gets worse.
Oh.
He also told the sheriff he wanted to make a grand appearance, and he requested that he be bathed, showered, and shaved, and photographed before his execution. His final request was that after he was dead, he wanted his body to be publicly displayed in an open-air casket in the center of the square for the whole town to see.
I hope someone burnt it.
This man loved himself.
Wait, what? How you spell his man's name?
Euzebe. Euzebe.
Wait. E-U-Z-E-B-E.
Vidrine. Vidrine. Okay. So he loved an audience. Like, he loved himself. He loved people looking at him. When he was...
I'm not going to say what I wanted to say.
You think he's ugly? Let me see.
His brother, he could take flight with them ears if he needed to. Lord of mercy. Like,
he's
not
kind
to
of
be mean to
scary.
my big eared listeners out there, but
But they're not murdering people. Or
Yeah,
at least
but like
I don't
they're
think they
talking
are.
about him like he's like his name should be like Xerxes or something. Like this is just the run of the mill white guy.
They said apparently because he had all his teeth. I don't know. Who knows back then? It gets better. So on the day he's being executed, he's being led towards the scaffold because remember he's being hanged. So it's like the scene from Pirates of the Caribbean. Like they're up on a big thing.
Why didn't he
He's
just fly away? Big ass ears.
like Dumbo.
Just- whatever.
On the way up, he stopped, turned around, and posed for the photographers.
You better work.
He is a diva.
He is a diva.
On the catwalk. He even refused to walk until all of the photographers verbally confirmed that they all got a good picture.
Cover girl, put the bass in your
Yo,
walk. Like,
head to
are
toe.
you kidding me? Wow.
It said that he stood with his shoulders back and smiled as the death mask was lowered over his face. And just moments before he was going to be hung, he cried out and asked for a chance to speak. What is wrong with y'all? They just keep letting him. I bet you if he would ask for one more day, they would have gave it to him.
Probably.
Yeah.
If somebody from Bill Platt, please email us
Explain
and
this to me immediately.
Like, I am confusion.
The sheriff allowed it.
The sheriff whose son died?
No, that I don't know. It just says the sheriff. And a fellow French speaker volunteered to translate for him because remember he spoke not very good
I
English.
Translated all incorrect stuff.
Like I have anal warts or something like
yes.
that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm doing this. This man's an idiot.
Right.
You know?
So for nearly half an hour, this man basically preached a sermon. And basically talking about how whiskey is bad and all of this was caused by drinking and gambling and whiskey and all this stuff. I'm not going to read it because we don't need to hear it. When he was done, they placed the rope around his neck. He looked to the cameras and said, okay, now take another one with me smiling. Okay, now take another good one with me smiling right through the rope. This man's freaking nuts.
I want someone to go knock him out. And then just
Like
be
you can see illustrations. Like when you look it up, he's like sticking his head through the noose and being like you know the picture of me from my
Is
wedding
he Charlie Chaplin?
when all of my bridesmaids held their
like the
flowers around me.
flowers,
He
yeah.
literally was like that. Like, oh, get it, take another one, take another one. That's literally what he was
No.
doing.
Oh my god.
This man's nuts. Okay,
They should. That's an example of someone they should have hooked with a rope
Like Dad's-
behind a truck and drove 5 miles an hour until he died.
yep. And
Period.
Just-
I said what I said.
finally, he uttered his last words to the executioner.
Balenciaga!
I got my opportunity
At
at Marshall's. Jonah, what would be your last words? Like if you knew you were going out and your words were going to be documented.
Oh, that's hard.
Like I would want to confuse people. Like I would be like, the treasure is hidden under the tree. Like I would just say something.
Yeah, I'd try to probably confuse people
Yeah.
or like say something so absurd like pineapple on pizza is like the way to go. And just be like,
Period.
and then people would be like, I didn't know he was a pineapple
He's
or a pineapple and ham guy.
Oh, he's
For the
I
record,
can't believe that.
I like pineapple.
They'll be
on
like,
pizza.
we knew it.
Yeah. Knew it.
He strikes me as a pineapple guy.
Or no, you know what? Here it is.
Okay.
I'd say the earth really is flat and I know why and they're killing me and that's why. That's what I would do.
Yes, that's good.
That's
a
great.
flat earth.
The reason I'm dying is because I know the earth is flat.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't have enough time.
That's genius.
Yeah, that's what I would
Okay.
What would yours be?
You're not a flat earther, though, right?
do. No.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
No, I'm not.
I just want to make sure.
I went skydiving. I've seen the.
Right.
He's
You've
like,
seen the
I've
curvature.
used my eyeballs and I've seen it. What would yours be?
I'm stealing this from Trixie and Katia, but it would be, I got my opportunity at Marshall's. Period.
I would probably start reciting like a random movie or something.
Or like,
Or
I am
No.
the true heir of Slytherin.
yes.
And then they hang me.
That was yes. That's
I am
perfect.
Slytherin, by the way.
Or I would start singing the lyrics to Juvenile's Back That Ass Up.
Girl,
Don't-
you look good. Back that in.
Yep.
Okay, that's a good one.
Sorry, Dad, sorry I cussed. Okay. So finally he uttered his last words. Here we go. Get into it.
Okay.
Do not gamble. Do not drink whiskey, or you will end up like Euzebe Vidrine. Now, courage, Charlie. Cut the rope. He thinks he is freaking.
He thinks he's the Queen Charlotte from Bridgerton, where she's like, sorrows, courage. To all the people who lost people.
Yep. So the trap was sprung at 12:45 p.m. and he was declared dead at 1:21, which that seems like a long time, but it takes a long time to die when you're hanging.
Ooh, I'm
Which
getting mad.
I'm kinda glad.
Good. I would grab the rope and be like, ding, 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 or hang him like a pinata.
And let people
Let
hit
the
him
kids of Bill Platt just whack this man and see what pops out.
for the kiddies.
Yeah, for the kiddos.
He was 26 when he died. Okay. So,
Oh my God.
oh yeah, he was young. He was young.
I still don't feel bad for him.
So one ray of positivity in all this, remember our guy Frank Smith, who's still sitting in jail in Texas for a murder he
Yeah.
did not commit? He obviously gets pardoned because he's like, hey, did y'all read this whole book about how this whole other guy confessed to killing this
Yeah.
man? I told you I didn't do it. So he gets a pardon from the governor. He gets to go home, which great.
And I think they should have taxed the citizens of Bill Platt and gave him a cash reward.
Yeah. I hope he lived a very long and happy
I
life.
hope he did too. And Bill Platt, it's a joke. I swear. Don't come at me.
Please
on
don't sue
Facebook.
us. All right. Eusebe's story captivated the nation, and newspapers across the country dedicated whole pages and whole illustrations to this story. Like people were
Okay.
talking about this. But there was a lot of debate around the ethics behind publishing the words of a convicted murderer.
I kind of agree with that.
Why?
Just because of the Axeman.
Mm-hmm.
Like the chaos that caused too. When
Right.
they published the letter, I'm just like,
See,
but from a business standpoint,
gonna-
I'm
they're
like,
gonna-
yeah, I'm gonna post it.
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna-
sell out of papers that
right.
day.
I'm Mr. Newspaper. I'm big newspaper. I'm selling copies of
Yes.
this.
Extra. Yeah.
So the many newspapers argued, not newspapers themselves, but like people who wrote op-ed pieces, like experts wrote in and also said this is not going to deter crime. This is going to encourage crime,
Right.
which there's evidence for that. Like now
Yeah, like copycat murderers.
we're, over 100 years ahead, and now we know that is actually true.
right.
Okay. But that's okay. They were like, we're still going to have advertisements for pre-orders of his book that were found in the newspapers where you could sell it or you could get it for $1 per copy. And it's a book.
I
It's
was
a
about
book.
to say, let me also look that up.
Okay. This is where it gets fun. We're coming to the end.
Okay, I'm listening.
There are some who say, though, that the Vidrine family is cursed. What was that?
That was spooky.
That was, oh, dang it.
dang.
What if he was like,
I thought it
hello?
was
hello?
Yeah, the dream being
He's like, I heard you were talking.
I heard someone say something about my big ears. My bad.
In 1937, a woman named Frezina, real name, not a drag name,
I like that.
Frezina Vizanat, Vizanat,
Okay.
was found shot to death in the woods.
Oh, sorry for laughing at your name. Okay.
Yeah. And a man named Melvin was arrested for it. And the sheriff said this after he interrogated Melvin to the deputy. It was just as though Euzebe Vidrine had been accused again. He looked like him. He talked like him. He even had those clear, glittering, pale blue eyes like Eusebe's. Melvin, the man who committed the most deplorable crime since Euzebe, luring his common law wife into the woods and shooting her point blank, was Eusebe's first cousin. And they locked.
Oh, there's something wrong with the bloodline.
Yeah, they locked him in the very same cell, and he went to prison for the rest of his life.
Oh man. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man.
So there's something in.
in that
yeah.
bloodline, maybe a little bit.
So Jordan LaHaye Fontenot, who again wrote this amazing article in Country Roads magazine, wrote this. Still today in Evangeline Parish, people recall being told as children to look out for the murderous boogeyman Euzebe Vidrine, who killed without regret and drank the blood of his victims.
Oh God.
And on the last pages of his memoir, he wrote this.
I'm thirsty. I'm just kidding.
Nope.
Okay.
This to me is like, really? He wrote, I have made peace with God.
Oh.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you.
I am praying fervently and earnestly, and I expect to go to heaven. And that,
Cool. Let me know if you make it through that toll tag. because I think your shit expired, but we'll see.
And that was the story of Euzebe Vidrine.
I'm mad.
You are mad.
Well,
I
got
can
the
tell.
frustration piece
Like,
right now.
you
Like,
can't
I got
even,
a
like-
TT because I'm so mad.
You can't even like make jokes because
no,
you're mad.
Like,
It
that's
is
dumb.
frustrating.
I'm mad at him. I'm mad at that man Melvin. I'm mad at the whole town of Ville Platte from back in the 20s.
Please don't be mad at us.
Just kidding.
Not y'all now,
But-
obviously.
no, but the judge.
Yeah, they said, yeah, do whatever you want,
what were you
bud.
thinking?
Do you want a steak dinner? Do you want
A
my Netflix password?
pen, paper, old lady
violin.
that was translating, and a violin.
And a preacher with a
I'm
choir.
27 years old. I don't know if I've heard a real violin in real life. That's stupid.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
bet you they would have gave him more time if he asked. But yeah, that was the horrible person, Euzebe Vidrine. You really are.
I'm pissed.
It was good though, wasn't it?
It was
It
good.
was good. I'm thinking of his kids. I wonder.
I don't think he had kids.
Oh, he didn't have
No,
kids.
he did not have. Not that I
Okay.
read.
Okay, I was about to say, so it got shut down. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope there's not some Vidrines in Ville Platte being like,
Well, his cousin
y'all are
had
mean.
his cousin had an 18-year-old Melvin. They had an 18-month-old baby.
Okay, I'm not really mad at you, Ville Plattians, or any Vidrines.
But
Please listen.
don't get mad at us. But it happened. It's documented. So
But you might want to do a 23andMe.
might want to swab that mouth and do a little 23andMe
Yeah.
ancestry.com.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, who knows? We probably have some crazy people up in our family.
girl, we
so
do. I can't say it right now, but
we do.
yeah,
Yeah. Have you met anybody in our family?
period.
So.
Both sides.
BOAF, both.
Both of 'em.
Both. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed researching that one. But do you have anything for the good of the group?
No, I'm ready to go take a frustration pee.
Okay.
'Cause
Well,
I'm so mad at that story.
on that note, thank you for listening. A couple of housekeeping notes. If you would like to email us some story suggestions or just send some general merriment, it is thebigbadboot@gmail.com. You can email us. We kindly ask that you download every episode because that's really good for the almighty algorithm.
Mhm.
It matters, apparently. Tell your friends about us. And our merch store
Ooh,
drops December 1st, which by the time people hear this, it will already be available.
yes.
So,
Because
oh my
it's
God,
almost
the fly
Christmas.
is back.
It's almost Toyotathon and Happy Honda days. So
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Santa is literally on his way.
Can't wait.
It's exciting. Nobody's getting Christmas gifts from me this year. I have a mortgage to pay. So setting that
And
expectation.
I'm traveling.
So Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, God made you.
And the Rougarou too.
So be kind to one another.
Bye.
Bye.
The Big Bad Boot is produced by Lettuce Media and edited by Mallory and Jonah.
Our music was produced by Macro Tracks. Our super cool logo was designed by AWC Graphics. And our sense of humor and childhood trauma was sponsored by Kelly and Abby Morse.